props. Here we go. And make sure we're in streaming. We are recording. Here we go. Good morning and welcome to everyone this morning. Day 5, can you believe it? We are almost halfway through this series. So how is everyone doing? I want to hear, give us an update. In the chat, those of you streaming and those of you on Zoom, share how many new clients you're supporting since we started our series, and how many new coaches have joined our family. And this is really, I think this is really a huge thing, because this really shows growth. What is something that you're doing different or that you've added because of this series? And probably you're doing it scared, but you're doing it anyway. I want to see. Post in the chat. Whoa, 6 new clients and 2 coaches. Tony, awesome. Love you too, girl. So good. Look at, everyone is moving forward. I love this. More momentum, following the effort factor. Jamil and Justin, clearly that was a hit. It just kind of encapsulates it with just very few words, which is what I say is good. So, of course, we always start the day with gratitude and just quiet meditation. I got up early and just thought about all of you and what amazing presenters we have today and how we just want to pour into you. And we have an amazing lineup, and you are going to learn so much. It is so cool. So get ready to take notes if you want. And we're going to be talking about starting conversations, how to continue conversations, how to build relationships on different platforms, and more. You know, conversations, obviously, that's what we do. We build relationships. So this is going to be so cool. But before I get out of the way for these awesome presenters this morning, and before they start pouring into you, I just want to say how much I appreciate every one of the leaders that has stepped up to share their hearts with all of you. Their time, their energy, it takes a lot of work. A 5-minute presentation takes a lot of work and energy, because we all want to do our very, very best. And I want to thank Jamil for his leadership and his vision to really create ways for all of us to stay in action and grow our teams, grow our organizations. So please show lots of hearts and love and thank you for everyone that has been involved with this, and even for yourself, because every single day you are getting up early and hopping on a call for an hour. And that takes so much discipline and energy and arranging, especially since a lot of you are homeschooling your children now and everybody's there. So to find a little spot that you can just have some privacy. So give yourself a thank you too. Okay, so I'm going to get out of the way and we're going to get going. And here we go. The beautiful Kelly Floyd, Integrated Regional Director, will be our first presenter this morning. So take it away, girl.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Karen. And I want y'all all to know that I've been coaching for a little over 3 years, and I still get nervous every time that I'm asked to present or speak. And a dear friend told me this morning, she was like, girl, that's just because you care. So guys, if there's anything about your business that you're doing right now that you're getting nervous about, it's because you care. Like, you really actually care. And that's actually what I'm going to be talking about today. I'm going to tell you that I have 3 children downstairs, all under the age of 8, and nobody else is home but me. So I am locked in my room. If they bang on the door, we're just going to work through it. Okay. All right. So let's just hop right into this. So how do you build a relationship on Facebook Messenger? First, I want to ask you a question. Why do we communicate in the first place? Is it to tell a story, to give information? Maybe. To ask a question? Sure. But what underlies all of that, for me, is the need for connection with others. Honestly, Messenger is no different than real life. We use it to make connections and build trust, which results in a relationship. But how do you do that? We've all heard things like be more interested than interesting. Use FORWARD, which is family, occupation, recreation, and dreams. Or people don't care how much we know until they know how much we care. Guys, that's all true. All that stuff is great. But in my opinion, the secret to all of this is to actually care. And I don't believe that you can really fake that part. Jamil's been talking to us about staring at your lines. Who's going to show up on those lines? Who needs us? Who's looking for us? Well, guys, the people we have been caring about and building relationship with, those are the answers to that question. Those are the people that are going to show up on those lines. So where do you start? You could go to their stories or their pages like Emily and Michelle talked about yesterday and find commonality or connection. But honestly, right now, I guarantee that you could send a message to any one of your friends list, new, old, doesn't matter, and say something like this. Hey, Amy, I like to use their name. It feels more personal. How are you holding up during quarantine? And that's all you have to say to start the beginning of a relationship. Now, say you wanted to do a little more work to hopefully have a better connection. You could go to Amy's page first. You could see if she has kids, or maybe she's an essential employee, find clues about her life. And then your message might be something like this. Hey, Amy, I saw your post about the long hours at the hospital. I just wanted to thank you for all you're doing on the front lines. How are you holding up? Are y'all doing okay with quarantine? Or maybe she has kids and she's homeschooling right now. And then it might look like, hey, Amy, just saw the great adventures you and your kids are having right now. How's homeschooling going? Are y'all hanging in there during quarantine? See, here's the thing. She will almost certainly reply and say something back like, thanks so much. We're doing okay. How are y'all? Or, yeah, we're hanging in there. But she maybe doesn't end it with a question. That's okay. It doesn't matter. I'm going to go on and I'm going to say something like, I'm so glad y'all are doing well. We're hanging in there too. I've been working from home for the last 3 years as a health and wellness coach, but doing that with 3 kids at home and homeschooling is crazy. Have y'all and your family been able to stay healthy through all of this? So guys, I left that with a question. I'm trying to get her to engage. If they don't engage, you can't build more relationship. And I know that these examples are quarantine specific because we happen to be in quarantine right now, but this works whether we're in quarantine or we're not. You're just interested in their life. Guys, this, my friends, is just the beginning of a relationship, the beginning. Depending on the outcome of the convo, I might maybe hear that she needs coaching. There might be some things she says that makes me know that she needs coaching. And if that's the case, then I'm going to put Amy on my coaching list because I want to be intentional about building a relationship with her. Maybe she said something that lets me know that she wants to, or maybe could use our program in some way, which everybody can. Then she's going to go on that list of people so that I can continue to be intentional with building a relationship with her there. We're really just working on building that trust and that connection. And you have to be intentional about that. Just like Priscilla said the other day, when the time comes to approach her and invite her to a healthy body trilogy or a healthy mind trilogy or healthy finances trilogy, it's not going to be weird or out of the blue because we will have talked before. We'll know each other. We'll have built a relationship. So maybe Amy decided to have a health assessment with me, but she wasn't ready to do programs. Or become a coach, whichever one. So I, of course, put her on my follow-up list and add her assessment to my binder. So I have access to her why and her goals and all of her current health habits. I want to continue to follow up and build a relationship, but what does that actually look like? I obviously don't want to ask her every time if she's ready, week after week. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? But how do you follow up without doing that? Well, here's how. Her health assessment is a great place to start. I might look there for clues and send her something that adds value, like, hey, Amy, I just saw the coolest water bottle on Amazon, and I remembered you were looking for one to help your water habit when we had your health assessment. Want me to shoot the link over to you? Or, hey, Amy, I know you mentioned that trip you and your family were taking to Disney when we chatted the other day. How was it? The pictures look amazing. Or maybe you just go to her page and you like and comment on some of the things that she has going on. All we want to do, guys, when we follow up is build more relationship. We want to increase trust. We want to be the person that they think about when they are ready. That's it. So really, it just looks like being a friend. And what did we talk about earlier? That's right. Actually caring about these people. I love getting into the worlds of the people I will one day help. It helps so much to have that level of trust when they decide to go on a healthy journey with me. It all just starts with actually caring about them and being interested. You'll be surprised how easy it is to connect what they need with what you have to offer if you've taken the time to get to know them. Guys, there's a girl who I added a while back. Her name's Nikki. She is a mama. She's a hairstylist. Her husband's a pastor of a really big church. She's really interested and involved in the women's ministry. She's There's this really cool couple. And so I started engaging with her by just liking and commenting on things in her page. She's really active in her stories. So every once in a while, I would send her a little message that goes to Messenger from her stories. Well, lately, as I've been watching her and engaging with her, her salon closed. She's at home. She's homeschooling her boys. She's super vulnerable and authentic on social media. And so she's talking about how hard that's been for her. So yesterday she put a picture of her little boy falling and hurt his face on Facebook and in her stories. And I just wrote, "Oh my gosh, girl, he's still so handsome even with that." And she wrote back, "Right?" That's all she said, "Right?" Well, that doesn't mean that the conversation has to end there. That doesn't mean I can't build relationship. So I say, "Hey girl, I've seen that you've been posting lately about, having a hard time right now. How are y'all doing? How's homeschooling going? How are you feeling about your salon being closed?" And of course she responded back, "Guys, I am getting into her world. I am seeing what's important to her. And I'm connecting and building relationship and trust." Some of you might be thinking that this takes a ton of time, but you might be surprised that it doesn't. You see, what I've found in the last 3 years is that most people don't actually care about the people they hope to serve. They see them as a sale or as someone who can do something for them. That's not how I see it, and that's not how Optavia teaches us to see it. They want us to give free value, help people whether they ever become a client or not, leave people better than we found them. As I cannot tell you how many people have told me thank you for checking on them. They say things like, "No one ever checks on me. People check on my family or ask how my family's doing, but they don't check on me." And they definitely don't care what I answer. They definitely don't actually care how I actually am, as that's not how we operate. If you do these things though, the fact is most of the people will become your client at some point. But if they don't, that's okay, because serving without expectation of getting something is what service actually is. Some of us, and I'm including myself in this because I've struggled with this during my coaching journey, need to do some work on detaching from the outcome and managing our expectations about outcomes. We want it more for them than they want it. We spend all this time pouring into someone who never joins us, and we get upset or hurt or resentful about that. Guys, let me tell you, that doesn't serve us, and we got to cut that out if we truly are in service to others. Do we hope they see what we see and that they take the chance to change their lives? Of course we do, but they need to see it and come along in their time, or it will be really easy for us to fall into the hero coaching role that maybe, like me, you've fallen into over the course of your journey. So back to Amy. Let's say Amy joins you on the journey and she becomes a client. At this point, you likely have a really strong level of trust and a pretty solid relationship. And honestly, even if she isn't a client, she's still someone who might be a source of referrals. She knows people you don't. Now, some people just do this naturally. They're connectors. I know because I'm like that. I'm always connecting people in my life with other people who can help them. It's something I just do. But not everyone is like that. And so it doesn't occur to them to send their friends who need to get healthy your way. So that means we actually have to ask for referrals. This doesn't have to be scary. And quite honestly, it can be super easy and natural. It's actually something you likely do in other areas of your life without thought. And I'm also betting that you would send referrals to those in your life without batting an eye if they ask you to, right? I mean, if my hairstylist said, "Be sure and send your friends my way," or "Here's a few cards, feel free to share them with your friends," you wouldn't think that was weird at all, right? I know I wouldn't. I'd hand those cards out to anyone looking and have actually done that for my hairstylist. And come to think about it, I need to ask her to return the favor. But how do you do that? Well, you just ask. You say, "Hey, Amy, hope you're doing well. Would you mind doing me a favor?" And she will say, of course, "What do you need?" And you say, "Would you mind sending anyone looking to get healthy my way? I'd love to help as many people as I can. And since you know people I don't know, I'd be honored if you would connect them with me if they need help on their health journey." It's literally just that simple. Or maybe she's a client and she knows that what you do is next level and the program is off the chain. Why wouldn't you say on one of your check-ins, "Amy, you're killing it. You look amazing. Who in your life is noticing the changes?" And she might say, "Well, my cousin Jen was asking me just the other day." And you said, "Well, that's amazing. I'm sure more and more people will be asking you what you're doing. And I want you to know what to say when they do." And then I tell them to just say this: "Well, I have a health coach. She's amazing. I'm just doing what she tells me, and I've never felt better. Let me give her your number," because I'm not going to lose her number. Her friend might lose mine. "And she can reach out to you and see if it's a good fit for you." We don't want our clients to get all mixed up in explaining the program. And I say that to them. I don't want you to get mixed up in explaining the program, trying to figure out which one she'd do or how much hers would cost. And if you know anyone else in your life that's struggled like we did, please refer them my way too. You know, I want to help everyone feel the way we feel right now. Guys, it's just that easy. Who wouldn't want to refer to their friends and family? We all know ultimately we want Amy to become a coach herself, and chances are she will. But teaching your clients or your friends or your family to refer to you is a great first step in that direction. And Karen, I'm going to send it back to you.
Wow is all I've got to say. That was, that was amazing. Give Kelly some love. If there were things in here, I couldn't even write fast enough. I'm sure we're going to have to go back and listen to this recording again and again. So much gold. So what I would like all of you to do, I'm going to give you a few seconds to do this, and you don't have to put it in the chat. If you want to, you can. But on your notes, I want you to write down something. There was so much gold here, so good luck with that. But write down one or two things that you took away from what Kelly was sharing that you could implement today, that you haven't implemented yet, but it was like, oh, that was so good. I'm going to implement that today. Make a note of it. And if you have a second before we move on to our next speaker, post it in the chat for all to see, because that was just fantastic. So I'm going to give you guys just a few seconds to write down something from Kelly's presentation that you are going to implement starting today. And you'll want to do that because that's going to be one of your action steps at the end. Just give you a few seconds here. The chat's totally blowing up. Persistence, authentic conversations, so good. Ask for referrals. Okay, so make sure that you write something down from Kelly. I'm going to ask you for each of the speakers to do that. So listen with the intent to implement. How's that? So we're going to move on to our next amazing speaker, and that is beautiful global director, Sydney Kidd. Or did I say Sydney? Cindy Kidd. And she's going to take it from here. So ready, girl? Take it away.
Good morning, everybody. So I don't even know how I follow Kelly, because that was like, we could end that right there. And I think we have enough nuggets to take away for the rest of the day. But I do want to talk to you guys a little bit more about how to start authentic conversations, whether about things that your friends have posted, how your post can really initiate an authentic conversation with about friends and family, and also how to talk to your clients. Our clients aren't just clients, they're friends, they're family. So our check-ins aren't just about health. So we'll chat a little bit about that. Now, when it comes to starting authentic conversations, like, you heard it this morning, you heard Priscilla talk about it earlier this week, and it sounds a little cliche, but people want to hear themselves talk. And often starting conversations is as simple as literally commenting or messaging them about one of their posts. And it could be something as simple as, well, maybe not now because no one's leaving their house. So it could have been as simple as maybe asking them, how their dinner at that restaurant was. Hey, I saw you went to X restaurant. I've been thinking about going there. How was that? What did you have? Or if you see a post about their family, I said it earlier this week too, it's not about us, it's about them. And the sooner we can really understand that, the easier it is to have conversations, because I think we get so much chatter in our head about, I don't know what to say. They're not going to want to talk to me. They don't want to get to know me. What do they care about my life? I'm not interesting. Again, it's not about you. It's about finding interest in their life that you can talk about, because that's what's going to make their eyes light up and really brighten up and say, oh my gosh, she cares about me, versus, oh, I feel like she has like some intention here and she just wants me to find out about what she does. There's nothing we do in this business that we should have expectations about, because we're in the people business, but it's not just getting people healthy. In my opinion, it's literally the people business of getting to know people and how we can serve them. The other element of this when it comes to conversations is, aside from asking yourself, how can I serve this person today? Ask yourself, what can I learn about this person today? Go on their Facebook feed. There's so many people who are way more active now than ever because they are sheltering in place, or they're using Facebook as a venting mechanism because they're home with the kiddos and they're working and they're stressed. There is not a lack of content on people's pages when it comes to conversations. But it's not just about their pages. I mean, you could call up a friend. We heard yesterday, go through your phone and scroll, and you may have, hundreds of contacts in there. Just call someone and ask them how they're doing. That's what it's about, is starting that foundation of a relationship. And if that foundation is really good, that house isn't going to collapse. But you have to remember, it's not about you. Now, when it comes to like making it easy to get to know people and their family, I use a lot of my posts to start conversations, and Michelle and Emily did awesome when it came to kind of Facebook training and talking about what should we post and how you should brand yourself. And if they were to go to your page, what would they see about you and what would they learn? I post a lot about my family, and I post recipes. I'm branding myself that way, and I start conversations there. But this is a family business. Like, our kids know they are involved in this. And maybe at the beginning, they're like, Mom, don't take that picture. Don't share that. And now it's like, we're arm wrestling on a live. Like, Naomi just doesn't care anymore. And it's so fun because there's humor in there and there's things that people relate to. So think about that as you're branding yourself. You're not just a health coach. Like, yes, we're Optavia, but that's not all you are. And that what people are going to resonate with is who you are as an individual. I shared a quote today, actually on my Facebook, and I wish I would have remembered it because this would have been so perfect. So I'm going to post it in the chat later today. But it's something along the lines of how unique we all are. And we're not trying to be like anybody else. So make sure your Facebook page really reflects who you are as a person and who your family is. And you will be surprised how many conversations you can start with that. Whether it's your health and you're sharing your progress and you're starting conversations that way, or it's your family and you're sharing something quirky, or a game night that we posted the other day. When people like those things, you could easily message them and say, best way to message, by the way, if you guys don't know this trick already, is to click on the likes. You have to do this on a computer and not a phone, unfortunately. But if you click on the likes on your post, there's a little message button. And when you hit that, it populates the post and the message. So there's some context behind what you're actually having a conversation with them about. So versus saying, hey, thanks for liking my post, and they're saying, I don't even know what post you're talking about because they like hundreds of posts throughout the day, it'll actually populate that post. And so it's an easy conversation to say, oh gosh, thanks for liking my game night post last night. Are there any favorite games that you guys play as a family? It's as simple as that. And if people are watching your page, they want to have a conversation with you. They like something that you're sharing. So don't make it as awkward as we often hear that chatter in our head. And I, to this day, still have chatter, and it's taken a long time to get over it. And we all battle it to different levels throughout this business, but it gets easier the more you do it. That F it phrase earlier this week resonated with me too. We've been talking to all our coaches about it, and it's literally taken us to the next level. It's so funny. But you guys, be yourselves is really what I share with people. And make sure you're sharing more about health, because that's where those conversations come in. They want to know you as a person. How are they getting to know your personality? Are you being transparent on Facebook, or are you putting up this facade? Or do you feel like you have to put up this facade that you're this perfect health coach? My best live ever was the one this week where I talked about eating a tub of Cheetos, and literally cheese balls. It's not good, but it just shows that we are not perfect health coaches. And that resonates with people when they say, oh my gosh, thank you so much for sharing that, because often people think they have to be perfect in this business. You don't. We all struggle with things. And when you can find those things that people relate to, that bond and that trust level just climbs every single time when they see that you're human and you have a family and you have struggles and you're not perfect. None of us are perfect. So feel free to share that. That vulnerability really increases that trust level like tenfold, in my opinion, because people have struggles themselves and they want to know that they can have someone who's going to walk hand in hand with them. So I encourage you today to ask yourself, what can I learn about somebody? Go to your intentional list, go to their Facebook page, go ask them a question. It's as simple as that. Go send them a message and ask them a question about something they posted. Now, when it comes to our clients, there's a lot of people that have like different opinions about how long a client check-in should be. And for Andrew and I, we block 30 minutes for all of our client check-ins. Now, granted, we do this full time and we have the ability to double up on our calendar, so time isn't necessarily an issue for us. However, we feel really passionate about the fact that we're not just health coaches and we don't just want to talk to people about their health on these check-in calls. So we may spend, I don't know, maybe 5 minutes talking about their health journey and how their week went. But no kidding, the rest of the 25 minutes is just us learning about them. What were your struggles this week? Not even about health, but we're all stuck at home, or you're homeschooling kids and you're working. Talk to me about how that's going. Or we just ask questions about what they do. We've learned so much about our clients. It is so fun to learn about what their hobbies are, what their interests are, what kind of makes them tick, because then every single week we could build on that. And I think that's played a huge role in our client retention. We don't have to bring on like 5-10 clients every single month because we retain ours so well. And I think a big part of that is because of the relationship we're building. They don't think they're just another person on the list or another person we have to check in with. We love these calls. We look forward to them. They look forward to them, even if we're not talking about health. And every now and again, we don't even broach the conversation of health because there's so much else going on in their life. And they know we're always here for those health conversations. But at the end of the day, they're people and they're struggling with things, or we're celebrating things in their life. And that's what's more important sometimes than everything else. Because if this upstairs is right and that relationship is built, sometimes everything else just kind of falls into place. And they'll stick around for a while. It's pretty fun. And as you build those relationships with them, it gets easier to ask for the referrals that Kelly talked about. Because if it's someone that you don't have this relationship with and every week you're only talking like 5-10 minutes about their health, that's exciting and you can celebrate their success. But when there's that trust there because the relationship has been built, then, oh my gosh, asking Susie to post on her Facebook for you is going to be 10 times easier because she's going to trust you and she's going to know that you don't have some other intention. I mean, yes, you're building your business, but you're doing it with pure intentions versus just, Cindy just wants to talk to Susie every week because she just wants to find more clients. No, I really care about Susie. And trust me when I say it gets easier. And they will say, yes, I will share with you. I will give you referrals. And listen for those clues. If you're talking to someone who's really struggling, whether it's a salon owner who has closed their salon, those are clues like, hey, maybe coaching would be a really good opportunity for you. Plant those seeds. It's not going to happen the first time. Don't get discouraged about it, but keep planting and keep showing them the benefit that this could have in their life. But again, by building those relationships, the more they share, the more you could share what this has done for your life and how it could really, really help them. So bottom line with all of this, because like I said, we could just end it with Kelly, is having those authentic relationships built and starting conversations. And it doesn't have to be hard, you guys. 10 people is my goal for you guys today. Go to 10 people's pages, go look at their posts, and go ask them questions to start a conversation. And if you can't find a post that would generate a question or a conversation, then I loved Kelly's tip of just asking them, how are you doing through this quarantine stuff? Is there anything, the last couple that I did yesterday was, is there anything I can pray for you? Like, that's a big one where people are like, yeah, I'm struggling. Another way to get some conversation and engagement, now that I just thought of that, is I've seen a lot of people post, it's the post with all the little colorful hearts, and it's a mental health check. And every heart means something different. Like red is, hey, I'm doing great. Orange is, I'm doing okay. And then it just kind of goes down to the line, like, I really need to talk to somebody. And often that can trigger a lot of engagement on your post by just asking people how they're doing mentally. It's not always about the physical appearance, right? We know there's a lot of work that happens up here, and we know we offer more than just a physical body change. We offer more mentally, financially, etc. So don't always just isolate the physical part when it comes to what you can help them with as a health coach. All right, you guys, that's all I got.
Wow. Do we have the best trainers or what? That was so fantastic. And what I love is Kelly gave information, Cindy followed. She gave totally different and more information, but still listening, asking questions, building relationships, right? So, what I'd like you to do, just like we did before, is write something down on your paper. And once again, there's so much, so many good things. Write something down that you learned today from Cindy that you are going to implement starting today. Write it on your paper, and if you have a minute, post it in the chat. I'm going to give you just a few seconds to do that. So good, Cindy. Thank you so much. Wow. Oh, I love this. This is just, to me, this is what we're all about. Building these authentic relationships. It gives me goosebumps. As you guys are talking, seriously, I'm getting goosebumps because it is just so, this is it. This is what we're all about. Okay, got it? Got your next thing? So I'm going to move on to the next presenter, not to be outdone, the handsome and awesome Eric Poyet, Regional Director. He's going to hop on and share with you next. Eric.
Oh, okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm ready. I'm stepping into it. You got to be bold, right? This is what they asked me to come on and talk about this morning. So it's perfect practice for me of actually being bold, because these ladies have given you some fire information that's just great. I'm going to talk a little bit more about how do you be bold? How do you be bold? And of course, that usually starts with your mindset and your chatter. So first of all, like for you guys out there, you know, how many of you woke up this morning like, I just seriously cannot wait to have conversations. I am just ready. I want to have conversations. I wish I would have woke up an hour ago so I could have started conversations already. Because I know there's some of you out there. If that's you, put yes, please. But if you're more like me and it's like, conversations, I don't know, then put a please no in the comments. Seriously, I want to see this. Yes, please, or please no. Come on, be honest, because I'm about to be straight honest with you guys. You know, I want to talk about this boldness or not and how you get over your fear of being bold. All right, I love this. I love all this honesty in there. So here's the cool things. I see some of each, and I know I'm really talking to everyone, but especially those of you who said no, please. Because here's the cool thing about this business. It doesn't matter if you want to have conversations or not. Okay? It doesn't matter at all. You've been listening all week, and everybody that's told you, Karen and Jamil and Priscilla and Cindy Kidd, oh my gosh, like all of them, even today, they told you that's what it takes to be successful. You have to have conversations. So who cares if you like it or not? You know, I mean, we're all adults, right? Sometimes I have to get up and do things I don't like. I have to get up and I have to do things that are outside of my comfort zone, like stand up here in front of people and talk to people about being bold when maybe I didn't feel so bold right before I counted down to 5. Okay, it's good to know that. It's good to know that you can take that comfort. You can actually take comfort in the fact that it's not optional. Okay, conversations are healthy fats. They're not optional. You got to have them. You got to have 3 a day. Well, maybe that doesn't quite match up with 5 and 1, but you know what I mean. Like, you have to do it. Optional action equals optional results. And that's not what I want, right? So what I want is certainty. So I'm going to be bold whether I want to or not on any given day, because it's necessary if you seek growth. Okay, now for real, it's okay that you want growth, but maybe you don't want conversations. But we have to realize that if we're waiting to, quote, feel like it, you're not going to. Okay, you're not going to feel like it later today. You're not going to feel like it tomorrow. You're not going to feel like it after the quarantine. If you're not a person that enjoys having conversations right now, that's okay, but you are never going to start feeling like it if you're not having them. I mean, these guys have been telling us, and you know, when you look at successful people and what separates them from the not so successful, it's just that they get up and they do things they need to do. They do a lot of things they want to do also because they've become successful. But first and foremost, every day or every week or whatever, they do what they need to do. And in this business, we're so lucky to be able to have these trainings and people coming on every day and saying, here is what you need to do to grow a business. And guess what? They do it. They're not just talking, they do it, they did it, they're going to do it tomorrow. So soak it in, all right? Say it out loud with me. If you're the people that don't like conversations, and I'm one of them, believe it or not, I'm getting better though, and I'll talk about that in a minute, but say, you know what? I don't like this. It's outside of my comfort zone. And I'm just going to do it anyway. Because it's best to assume that you'll always feel that way. I've got some good news for you on that front, but just assume right now, like, I hate conversations and I'm always going to. That's okay. I'm just going to go and I'm going to do my best. Now, the truth is you're probably not always going to hate it, because things that you don't know how to do that you're not good at, that makes your skin crawl. If I look over there at a guy riding a unicycle and I'm like, oh, look at that. Would that be fun for me? No. Because I guess I would probably fall off. Actually, I definitely would fall off. Oh, and I do like bicycles. I'm a psychologist, if you didn't see my new birthday shirt here. But a unicycle, no way. I'm going to fall off that thing. That doesn't look fun to me. But guess what? If I learn how to ride a unicycle and I'm actually good at it, which I will be if I practice, no matter how it looks right now, like if I practice it and I do it every day, even when I don't feel like it, pretty soon I'll be riding that unicycle like I'm in Barnum and Bailey. And it'll be fun because I know how to do it and I don't fall down. So once you learn how to do these difficult and uncomfortable things, then you're more like, you know what, this is my jam. I love this. So think of that when you're thinking about conversations. Like, this is practice for being good at those conversations if you're not already. And if you are good at them already, congratulations, because that's awesome. But it is key to our success, right? Because having conversations is key to getting the word out, branding yourself, receiving referrals. All these folks were talking about this. I mean, if you're not bold, then really your business is going to grow much, much slower. So when it comes to the mindset of being bold, I want to get really clear on my why. You guys have talked about this. I'm not going to go through it again. Go back and watch Karen talk about this like first day. You've got to do that. You got to talk with your coach about it. Otherwise, if you have a bunch of excuses, then you really need to examine your why, because you need better reasons. Okay. So like I said, some folks are born this way, I'm sure. But for me, it had to be about what I wanted for myself, what I wanted for my family, and just thinking about the fact that I have to be bold if I want to help more people. Okay, so really think about that. You guys have heard this in many different ways, and I'm kind of repeating some of this, but it's so important. Like, you have to understand, we're not having conversations so we can make a sale. Okay, literally, we're having conversations because we can bring health and we can bring hope to people. So don't look at being bold as like something I've got to do to put $1 in my pocket. No, being bold is something you have to do to help people. This program helps you. You're not a coach on this call if Optavia hasn't helped you and changed your life and blessed you in a major way. I promise you. Absolutely. Like, you might become a client for a minute and not realize that, but you didn't become a coach and then actually come in to this group to learn how to be a better coach and not believe with all your heart that this is a good thing for people. So realize that when you're not being bold, you're actually denying someone the opportunity to say yes to health and hope. And think about that. So anyway, how about the nuts and bolts of conversations? You guys got some good nuggets from some of these speakers already today. They asked me to talk about how to make connections with strangers and even to make them your friends. So as others mentioned, I like to join groups. I like to engage with people there. Anybody I'm engaging with, talking with me in the groups, I'm sending them friend requests. And I'm going to be bold in introducing myself to those people. You want to tell them what it is you like about them. Why did you reach out? I mean, and there can be differing opinions on this, but I'm not really going for the shotgun effect. Like, I want people that I'm actually interested in. They had things that I liked about them that drew me to them. Let me talk to those people, because if I can get the right people to accept my friend request, then that's way more important than just getting a lot of them. So I want to tell them why I wanted to connect. I saw what you wrote. I saw we had similar interests. I saw you posted this thing in the group, and I appreciated your feedback on my post. What's the worst thing that could happen? They don't answer you. They don't accept your friend request. So what? Like, that is the lovely thing about it. It doesn't matter. They're not going to remember you. They're never going to see you on the street a year from now and say, aren't you the guy that sent me that friend request and I didn't know you? Okay. So if you're starting a lot of conversations, you're going to have so many opportunities to start talking to people about what our program is, about coaching. I mean, the first thing I do when I'm starting a conversation, I go to their page, I check them out. What can I see at a glance that I can bond with them on? You know, they have kids, they live in my area, they share a hobby with me, they have dogs, they're planning a vacation. Like, that's what you want to dig for. Don't just send them some generic greeting and think they're going to be over the moon that you took a minute to say hello. Like Kelly said, I like to ask questions. You'll get so many more answers that way. So often I start with that, you know, hey, how'd it go with your trip you had planned? Or I'm sorry to see this was delayed. Tell me about that. Oh, you went to the Canadian Rockies? Where did you go? Where did you stay? Oh, you have this interest. I've always wanted to do that. Tell them about them. That's what they want to talk about. And that's what's going to make you rare. Okay. You're a listener. We want to train you to be a listener. And I wish I could hear all you guys. And I'll be listening right now. I'm making it really awkward. Like, I'm listening. Tell me. But be rare in that, because no one listens anymore. Okay. Offer them a chance to talk. Reassure them. Prompt them to talk more. Cindy was just talking about it. I mean, press. People, once you get that wall open, they love to talk about themselves and things they know about. So once you've shown yourself to be a unique person who likes to connect and who actually listens, and that's when great things are going to start to happen. If a person is engaging with me, I'm definitely going to be bold, because I don't want to just throw my offering at them, of course, but I do want to, I don't know how to, I know I'm out of time, sorry. I need 30 more seconds. I just want to learn more about them. And if you give them the opportunity to talk about themselves, and they're going to ask about you because they probably learned how to talk around other human beings. You know, oh, okay, Eric just asked me all these things about me, and I just vomited all this information, so maybe I should ask him, yeah, well, what about you? Ding, ding, ding. Now I can say, you know what's really important to me is my health. Believe it or not, you didn't know me then, but I was 80 pounds heavier a few months ago. I recently left my job and I became a health coach. Like, boom, tell them an abbreviated version, not a sales pitch. Just let them know. If they want to know more, they're going to ask you. But the whole time, more importantly, you've been listening. What are their struggles? What can I help with? You know, what can I mention to them that I might have a solution for? And of course, if they have a problem, this month, I'm definitely telling them about the incentive. Okay, don't be scared to tell people, like, yeah, I am a health coach and we're actually running a massive incentive right now. Would you want to hear more about it? I'd love to share it. Be bold, whether you want to or not, because that's what it's going to take, okay? Anyway, don't allow your chatter time to talk to you. What I just did when I started this, and I've learned from others, I didn't make this up, just 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, boom, start a conversation, okay? Do not allow that chatter to come in. You know you need to do it, so go and do it. Your business will grow, you'll help more people, and people will respect you because you're authentic.
Wow. I mean, so good, Eric. There were so many amazing tips. Once again, this is definitely a repeat performance. We will definitely want to go back and listen to this so much. So what I want you to write in the chat, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, I am bold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, I am bold. That was so good, because we are what we think. And I love, did you hear? Be a good listener. Ask questions. Get to know who you're talking to. Create relationships. People love you for that. No one cares for people in that way anymore. Be the exception. It makes me cry, seriously, because I have seen the change in people when you just offer a listening ear and you care about them. Even if you don't want to, they're like healthy fats. That was so good. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, I am bold. Okay, speaking of bold, we are going to move on. Thank you so much. That was just so good. We're going to move on to our next presenter. This lady just has been rocking it. Why? She's bold. She did it anyway. I would imagine there were times she didn't feel like it and she didn't want to. I can tell you that I've had lots of those times. And I know that Alex has had those times too. But guess what? She has a dream. She wants something and she's going to get it. And so she's going to share with you how she moved so quickly to executive director. Beautiful Alex Corona. She's going to give you some tips. She's going to tell you how she did it. So take it away, my friend. I'm excited to hear your story.
Good morning, everyone. So I started coaching February 18th was the day I think I bought my kit. I wanted to wait until I reached my goal to start coaching. I did not know once you purchase that kit, that's when you start. That's when it begins. So that Friday, I posted my before and after. We started doing training calls right away. Jamil was not playing. We were not waiting. It was just back to back to back. The first time that I ranked up to senior coach, or my rank up day, he asked me to post a video on the 0 to 5 explaining, I ranked up and how I did it. And I was terrified. I don't like making videos. I don't like posting. And I didn't do it. I was afraid, and he let it slide. Following week, I ranked up again. Again, he asked me, you need to make a video, you need to post it. I didn't do it that day. I think I signed up like 5 clients. So that was my excuse. I was busy. I'm signing up clients. I didn't get to do it. The next day again, where's your video? You haven't posted your video. Until finally he said, you know what? I'm not going to reply to any more of your text messages until you post your video. And I freaked out because I don't know about you, but I text Jamil like 17 times a day for everything and anything. I ask him questions all day. I was like asking him to approve my posts on social media before I post them, just to make sure, they sound okay. I reach out to him for everything. So for him to say that, I'm like, oh my God, I need to make this video. It took me about an hour to finally make a video that I was comfortable enough to post. I posted my video. I was so afraid. I was so uncomfortable, and I did it anyways. And I was so glad I did. You sometimes post things just not knowing, like, no one's going to see it. I'm brand new. Who's going to want to watch my video? But I actually got a message from another new coach saying how that motivated her, inspired her. It was a big impact in her life. And that made me feel like it was worth it. Me posting that video, if it could help, somebody else get motivated on their coaching journey, it was so worth it. So I don't really, like doing certain things that I needed to do, but I knew I needed to trust Jamil and what he was having me do to accomplish my goals. We have 5 kids. I could have made up so many excuses. We had basketball practice, soccer practice, dinner, all kinds of stuff going on throughout our day. I was hiding in my closet, making a phone calls, assessments in my car, at practices, any time of the day. I would pull up to my kid's school and I was in the parking lot on the phone making assessments, health assessments. So I could have made excuses, but I made it work. One of my breakthroughs I felt like was my video, and I think we were in March Madness at that time. In that month of March, I hit all my ranks up to ED and I got certified. So it happened very quickly. I didn't even have time to like stop and say anything. Like, it was just happening so fast. And the one thing that I can say, if you want to hit ED, is just allow yourself to be coachable. I know when we sign up new clients, we expect them to trust us in guiding them on the program. You know, if you let us guide you, you're going to be successful. So we need to allow ourselves to be coachable and allow our coach to guide us, you know, to go through this and just do what they ask. If you're scared, do it anyways. You're going to feel so much better once that's done. I think that's all I have. I had like this whole speech and I couldn't even like memorize anything. So thank you for having me on.
And I love that you said that, Alex, because what did you do? You spoke from your heart, right?
Yes.
And we all do this, you know, we write down all of our notes of everything that we want to say about our story, right? And I think pretty much we know our story, and that's a huge breakthrough to have your notes and just set them aside and just speak from your heart, because you touched so many great nuggets there, right? You guys give Alex some love on her amazing story. What I loved is you said your breakthrough was your video. Did you want to do that? Nope. You know, she didn't leave. Her breakthrough was something she didn't want to do, right? That is the case 99.9% of the time. You'll notice we never ask you, do you want to? Or would you like to? What do we ask? What do you want? What are your goals? Where do you want to go? Right? So to do that, you said it, be coachable. Because you know what? We are not committed to your comfort. We're committed to your success. So I'm sorry if it's not comfortable. Anyway, when are you going to do that video? That was so priceless. I loved that Jamel told you he would not answer any text messages until you did it. And guess what? That changed everything, right? Because we all, when I say we, all the leaders, all of us that have gone through the ranks, we had to do the same thing. And Eric said it too. It's like, we don't want to. I think all of us said it. It's like our chatter can take over. And here's what happens. We make a decision. Am I going to listen to my chatter and stay where I am? And 5 years from now, I'm still going to be wishing and hoping that things are different? Or am I going to go, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, I'm bold and go, right? Because without that, we're not going to have what we really, really want. Trust me, I haven't felt like it a lot. I've been scared. I've been not wanting to. Whine. Like, okay, whatever. No one cares. No one cares that we're scared. No one cares that we don't want to. It's like our goals don't care. What do you want? And that's where you want to go. So you guys, thank you so much for such an amazing training this morning. I want to thank all of our presenters, Kelly and Cindy and Eric and Alex. Can you please show them some love in the chat? Because I just think that this was absolutely fantastic. I loved every minute of it. And here I've been coaching over 10 years, and honestly, I heard things I haven't heard. I heard it in ways I haven't heard it, and I loved it so much. So thank you. So let's talk about our action steps and how perfect this will be, because the first action step, and I will print these out and put them in the group, but I want you to, they're not difficult, and I think that you'll be able to do just fine with me just telling you. The first action step is to work on asking questions and listening, not telling, right? We tend to want to tell. Asking questions is a skill that you learn. And I spent many years learning to ask questions and listening. Because if we don't listen, we can ask a question, but we're moving into our own agenda. And this is with everyone, because we practice to become permanent. So not only with your clients and your coaches, but your children, your significant other, friends, clients, coaches, everyone, right? Anyone you talk to, what you really want to pay attention to is any time you want to tell your story, tell something about you. I don't mean your story, your Optavia story. I mean just tell them something about you, because we tend to do that. Stop, and before you speak, change it to a question. Or we want to give them their answer, right? So in this situation, you know, if someone's talking, we want to tell them the answer. Don't do it. Stop, and before you speak, change whatever it was you were going to tell them into a question. Okay? You're going to learn some interesting things about others and about yourself. You're going to learn how many times you want to jump in and be the hero and tell them the answer. Tell them where to look. Tell them how to do it. Tell them this. Tell them that. Don't do it. Okay? So starting as soon as we finish this call, this is what I want you to do. I would highly suggest doing all day. It will change your life when you continue to do this every single day. I've worked on this for years. It makes a huge difference. And number two action step, following up with the first action step, is do not talk about yourself unless you are asked. Make all of your conversations about the other person. Okay? Asking questions, learning about them, and then learning more about them. Oh, wow. Wow, that's so interesting. Tell me more about that. Wow, I love that. And then what happened? It's so easy to go, oh yeah, I did that too. Or whatever they're telling you, we kind of one up them on their story, right? Pay attention to how many times we kind of want to hijack the conversation, and suddenly this conversation is about me and not you. So really ask questions and listen. The only time you can talk about yourself is if you are asked a question. I have a few minutes and I want to tell you this great story because, and several of the presenters touched on this, and I love this so much. Like people, when you're asking people questions and really learning about them, they just think you're amazing. So some years back, Psychology Today did this great experiment. And what they did is one of the editors of Psychology Today got in an airplane in New York and flew to Los Angeles. He was sitting in first class, and his goal was he could not say anything about himself. Whoever his seatmate was, he didn't know who it was going to be because he was traveling by himself. He had to ask his seatmate questions. Never once saying anything about himself unless his seatmate asked him a question about himself, then he could answer. So what is that trip? 4.5, 5 hours? You know, the Psychology Today guy was asking questions about his life, where he worked, did he live in LA? He learned all kinds of things about him. So when they got to the other end of the trip in Los Angeles, some of the people from Psychology Today went up to his seatmate and wanted to talk to him. They told him, you know, where they were from, and they just wanted to interview him a little bit. And they said, tell us about the guy you were sitting next to on the plane. And he said, he was the most interesting man I've ever met. And they said, really? What does he do? And the guy's like, well, I don't know. Oh, well, where does he live? I don't know. This man had not asked the Psychology Today editor one single question about him. But because the Psychology Today editor did nothing but ask this man questions about himself, about his family, he knew everything about this guy. And the guy knew nothing about him, but this guy thought he was the most interesting person he had ever met. I love that story because it's so true. Think about that. When you become a really good listener, everything changes. You learn about people, and they want to be around you, and they want to have a relationship with you. So, number 3, whatever it was that you wrote down that you want to implement from each trainer today, do each one 3 to 5 times. Obviously, the more you add it to your actions on a daily basis, the more people you're going to reach. Okay, you guys, let's go out and change the world. Remember, we meet every day, so tomorrow morning we'll be back. And have an amazing day. And remember, I am bold. Let's go.